Hello everyone, it's my pleasure to take this opportunity to introduce the general introduction of Fengyun meteorological satellite programs, especially direct broadcasting service preparation for FY-3E, which is the latest launch polar satellite in the early morning orbit. There are 6 parts will include in my presentations. So maybe you know, in 1960s, the first meteorological satellite TERRS-1 was launched successfully by US. After that, meteorological satellite has been changed the way scientists understand the Earth, and 80 years later, the first Fengyun meteorological satellite had been launched successfully in China. Up to now, there are already 2 types, 4 series, and 19 satellites have been launched in China for meteorological satellites. Among them, FY-1 and FY-3 are polar satellites. FY-3 are the new generation, and FY-4 and FY-2 are the short-range satellite. FY-4 are the new generation satellite. Actually, Fengyun satellite has become the very important component of WMO space program with reliable and sustained observation in operation, and also with the open data policy to free access. In the same time, Fengyun satellite support the direct broadcasting users with the pre-processing software package and also with the view-down document to support. And if you want the detailed information for the Fengyun meteorological satellite, you can look for the paper I list in the slide for the detailed information. This paper given the latest progress of Chinese meteorological satellite. So Fengyun program support not only domestic users but also international users. For example, UMISAT received Fengyun polar satellite with their ground station in Europe region and retransition the Fengyun polar satellite data to their user communities. And at the same time, we exchange the global data with UMISAT. Through this way, the European users can have our global data. Currently, Fengyun 3 sounding data has been assimilated not only into CMA grid models but also into the ECMWF and UK Met Office models in operational way. And the data quality of Fengyun meteorological satellites is now comparable to that from equivalents of US and European meteorological satellites. And in my second part, I will introduce the current mission and the Currently, there are 7 satellites on orbit in operation. Among them, 3 satellites are in the polar systems. They are FY-3C in morning orbit, FY-3D in afternoon orbit, and FY-3E in the early morning orbit. And 4 satellites in geostationary from 79 eastern degree to 133 eastern degree. In the west, FY-2H in 79 eastern degree, FY-2G in 99.5 eastern degree, and FY-4A in 105 eastern degree, and FY-4B just after the completion of commission test and located in 133 for the operational mode. This slide gives the information of the instrument on board on the FY meteorological platform. There are totally more than 25 types of instruments, cover the spectrum from ultraviolet, visible, near-infrared, infrared, and macro. The instrument can be divided into the optical image, atmospheric sounder, macro image, atmospheric composition detector, radiation budget monitor, spectral environment package, and active readers in the categories. And this slide just gives the status of on-orbit instrument in operation. And you will see the table on the top show the status of instrument on jaw, and the table in the bottom show the instrument status of Leo. And you will see from these two tables, most of the instruments are in the good status, which in the green shadows of the table. And you will see some of the instruments of FY-3C work in the turned off model, which in the blue shadows because of the limited from the platform power supply problems. And also you will see MWTS of FY-3C has died and cannot work anymore. So this instrument in the red shadow, and the gas of FY-3D work in the yellow shadow, because this instrument suffer from the signal to noise. The signal to noise of some of the channel of gases cannot meet user requirements, which lead the CO2 retrieval has some problems. So with those instruments on board on Fengyun meteorological satellite, we can provide not only level 1 products, but also many geophysical parameters of the Earth systems, including the atmospheric parameters, ocean parameters, ice snow parameters, cloud radiation parameters, biology parameters, land parameters, and space weather parameters as well. And again, you can find the detailed information for Fengyun products in our paper we list in the slide here. And we provide the users data service, not only space-based, but not only ground-based, but also space-based ways to enhance our data service. At present, the achieved data for various satellites in our center has reached more than 20 PB, and the daily data amount, the daily achieved data volume is more than 20 TB, and the total amount of data service has exceeded 10 PB last year. And we provide the users the data service both in real-time and non-real-time way. In the real-time way, we provide users the DB service and the CMA cast service. For the non-real-time way, we provide users the website, cloud service, FTP service, and manual service. And for the global data, the data latency is very important. So we not only use the 5 domestic ground receive stations, but 2 overseas data receiving stations in Korea in the North Pole and Zhang in the South Pole. So with these ground stations, the data latency of global data can be good within 2 hours. So for the space-based service, besides the direct broadcasting service, CME cast is also very important, especially for the products service. So you may know currently CME cast work together with Umicast and JoNetCast in America, which can provide the satellite product globally. And this slide just given the web portal of our web-based data service. And through this web address, you can not only get the Fengyun satellite data, but also you can get the information for the Fengyun satellite platform instruments. And instrument spectral, and especially for the international users, the data sharing exceeded more than 120 countries, and there are more than 60 countries not only use our data but also use our analysis software package to analyze the data information. Also, there are more than 19 countries users receiving our training through VLab and also through online training, international trainings. And besides this data service, we also provide international users a kind of special service called FY-ESM. The full name of FY-ESM is called Emergency Support Mechanisms for the International Users of Fengyun Meteorological Satellite in Disaster Prevention and Mitigation. The mechanism is quite similar as Charter, and in the emergency time, the user can get the data they are interested as quickly as they want. And we also help the international users to enhance their capacity to get our data directly. For example, we found 2 countries with FS3 satellite direct data reception stations, and 8 countries with FY2 satellite direct data reception stations, and more than 20 countries with simulcast antennas. And we also provide the international users in the technical discussion if needed. We can hold the virtual meeting. Through the virtual meeting, the detailed and targeted information can be supported for the international users. And in my third part, I will introduce the latest launch, which included FY-4B and FY. Since FY-4A is the research and development satellite, actually FY-4B is the first satellite in operational of our new generation. And FY-4B was launched on June 3, 2021. And there are 4 instruments on board. GIRS, geostationary interferometry infrared sounder, advanced geostationary radiation image and space environment monitoring instrument package. Those 3 are inherited from FY-4A, and the geostationary high-speed image was the new instrument. And the detailed information you can find the website I given in the slide here. And especially with the geostationary high-speed image on FI4B, the temporal resolution had been increased dramatically. For example, from original 30-minute maximum in our fourth generation to the 1 minute maximum currently. And for FI-3E, actually FI-3E is the world's first meteorological satellite in early morning orbit for civil service. It's filling the observing gap in the early morning orbit. And in general, there are 4 capabilities in category of FI-3E has provided. First is high precision infrared and microwave combined atmospheric temperature and humidity vertical sounding capability. The third is active C plus Ku radars for wind field detection. The third is global optical observation with low light image in 255 meters resolution. And the fourth capability is the comprehensive detection of the sun and space environment. Again, you can find the detailed information which from the paper I given in the bottom of the slide. In the paper we published last year. And there are totally 11 instruments on FI-3E. 3 instruments are newly developed and 7 instruments are upgraded, and 1 instrument inherited from FI-3 series. And this slide just given the first set of image captured by FI-3E. Since we have the EUV solar image, which is the first solar image in China, and it can provide the solar activities. We also have the spectral solar irradiance monitoring from SSIM. We can give the refined structure of solar information. And from the wind radar of FI-3E, we can have the ocean surface wind. This slide just given the monthly average wind speed in September last year. From this image, you can you can have the information. For example, southeastern trades, northeastern trades, ITCZ area, Pacific High area, etc. And also we can retrieve the vertical atmospheric temperature from MWTS, and in the left panel of this slide you can see the vertical atmospheric temperature retrieval from MWTS in the different altitudes, and in the right panel is given the case retrieval results for Typhoon Yanhua last year, in last July. And this slide just shows the low light image and city light products from Mercy low light image of FI-3E. In the in the left panel of this slide, you can have the city map of the South American, and in the right panel you will have the low light image of the North Pole areas from FI. And if we work together with FI-3D, so we can retrieve the land surface temperature not only in the early morning orbit, but also we can have the retrieve LST in the in the afternoon. So for the future program, you may know WMO space WMO had built the space program 2040 visions. So to support WMO 24 visions, so SEMI also built the Fengyun program up to 2035. So Vision 2035 especially support WMO visions in Tier 1, which means backbone systems. So in detail, around 2025, we will keep continue observations on the early morning and afternoon orbits in the polar systems through FY-3 series. At the same time, we will have the rain formation in FY-3 series. And for the geostring satellite, besides FY-4 West and FY-4 East, we will have the microwave capability on the geostring satellite. And this slide just shows the layout of Fengyun meteorological satellite around 2035. So around 2035, we will keep observation continuously through FY-3 series with Block 4 in FY-3 series with 2 satellites. And also we will keep Block 3 of FY-4 in 2 satellites. So after that, around 2030 to 2035, we will transition to our third generation, which means from FY-3 to FY-5 in polar and FY-4 to FY-6 in geostring satellite. So for the DB service of FY-3, actually this slide just given the current status of DB users, and currently there are around more than 30 countries around the world to use the direct broadcasting of FY-3 satellite, and the users are mainly from meteorological department, and some are from university, research institution, and companies as well. And for FY-3E direct broadcasting, this slide just shows the parameters in detailed information. For example, for the frequency, it's around 7.8 gigahertz, and for EIRP is around 20 dBW, and for propagation path length is around 3,000 kilometers, and for free space loss is around 180 dB. So you can find more detailed information in this. And for the preparation of FY-3E DB software package, actually, software package include a completion level 0 to level 1 processing flow. The main function include level 0 unpacking, collecting, data quantity control, geolocation, and radiometric calibration, and level 1 product generation. And the FY-3E DB software package has complete development currently. The procession comparison, test, and preparation of user required documents. And DB software package will release which include 4 instruments. They are MWHS, MWTH, Mercy, and Harris. And this software package will release next month. And as a summary, actually, Fengyun satellite has become an important component for the global observation systems. And FY-3 and FY-4, we expected to work continuously until around 2023 to 2030 to 2035. And after that, we expected future FY-5 and FY-6, which are the new generation meteorological satellite, will work and transition into working mode. And Fengyun meteorological satellite will contribute to the WMO members and support DB users continuously. And for your information, we have a Fengyun special issues had published 2 years ago. And also, I summarize the latest published related with the Fengyun meteorological satellite in this slide for you. I will stop here. Thank you for your patience.